What fruit doesn't taste as good as it looks?
Kiwi.
Peach.
I'm gonna say pear.
What is happening?
Man, I was very excited to do this podcast. That answer just went so many different directions. No, let's not get into that. Well, let's get into it.
I eat pears. I'm on a pear diet.
Pear.
That's actually a good answer.
Yeah.
Pears should...
But like, okay, pears don't taste that great, but they also don't look that great. Like, they don't look amazing.
Well, they're green.
Yeah.
And green is a very excitable color.
True.
I think.
But like, it doesn't look amazing, right? Like the ratio.
I guess the shape.
The ratio to amazing to taste, like, I think is closer. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait,
like,
say that
Wait,
again?
SHAH-AMEER. Sorry.
like, I would. Okay, so like watermelon.
The ratio to,
you know, like
yeah.
watermelons, right? They look amazing from the outside, like green.
Red.
Oh,
I thought you were
and
saying
inside
the
too, right?
No, from the outside they don't look like... Because melons, right? Melons should be on watermelon level. But they're not. Because of the red.
Sometimes they are, but like I feel
Like honeydew. That's on a good level. But sometimes melon is just like...
Yeah.
Eh.
But I have to strongly disagree with you, SHAH-AMEER. Peaches are delicious.
I guess. If that's what you agree, I mean.
Yeah, peaches are definitely
they're good, but
a great fruit.
I don't think they're as good as they look. Like, I think they look amazing, right?
They're so juicy.
You're talking about the other peaches.
Like, yeah, the peaches.
You're talking about like the peach emoji type peaches. Like that peach. Oh, girl, you got that peach. I see.
No,
Yes.
because that goes in the...
SHAH-AMEER.
You like the fuzz? You like the fuzz, SHAH-AMEER? You like the peach fuzz?
I put myself
SHAH-AMEER.
in a bad
Okay,
situation,
kiwis?
guys. It's
You don't like
Ramadan.
kiwi?
It's Ramadan. We can't
I
talk
do like kiwis, but I feel like recently especially that like they look so
Recently,
exotic.
especially. Where are you from? Where's that accent from?
That wasn't an accent, that was me talking. I feel like those things, like they look way more exotic and they've been really
Kiwi?
like hard.
Okay, you're talking about the inside of... Because the outside of a kiwi looks horrible.
Yeah.
No, the inside. Like if you chop it right down the middle, it looks
It looks
so
like
cool.
balls from the outside.
I love them.
What?
Hey, you guys do you. I was talking about fruit. Neither of you were talking about fruit, but okay.
I was talking about fruit.
Talking
It's
about
Ramadan.
kiwis.
It's fruit. I was talking about fruit.
I was talking about kiwis, and I just wish that they were a little bit better.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to an episode of Strange Flavors. My name is Shimmer.
I'm FARAS.
My name is Amber.
And this is the greatest and strangest podcast in the game. This is brought to you by Alif Theory. If you'd like to email us questions or anything, or you'd like to send us your music, or your friend's music, or your homie's music, or your mom's music, or your dad's music, or cousin's music, strangeflavorspodcast@gmail.com.
Not your cousin.
Not your cousin? Why not?
Because when you send your cousin's music,
Yeah.
it's just...
Yeah.
It's never good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you do anything for your cousin, it's never really good.
Yeah.
It's not that authentic. It's like, yo, it's my cousin.
But
there's never anything good
what
tied
you
with
can
it.
do with your cousin is tell them about this podcast if you enjoy it, right? And where can they listen? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and literally anywhere else. And if they can see, if they have good visuals, right, they can watch this podcast on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And they can even
It's on
subscribe
YouTube.
and leave a like, and they can comment on the podcast.
And we love YouTube comments.
Facts.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a great job at commenting on those. By the way, real quick on that note, we never delete comments. We've never deleted any, even if they're like absurd, whatever. We value everybody's opinions and perspective. So we don't delete comments. YouTube, for some reason...
Even if we were to, like, some reason not like it, which we don't want...
which often we disagree with. We disagree with each other all the time. But
yeah.
I just want to put out there that sometimes YouTube marks comments as, I guess, crossing their community guidelines or whatever. So if you have an opinion that may be controversial or whatever, just make sure to, like, not, I guess... say anything hateful in it or like vulgar. That's not what I'm saying. I don't care about that stuff, but we do not remove comments. So
yeah,
just want to
YouTube.
put that out
If
there.
they're being removed, it's from YouTube itself, not us.
Yes. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us everywhere on social media at Strange Flavors. And we would like to thank our executive producer of this podcast,
Absolutely.
Bobber Bagel.
Bobber Bagel.
Woo!
However, I'm looking at my
Yeah.
list here, and I do see that there is a second supporter.
What?
I do see a second supporter.
Who is it?
Wait, hold on. Who is it?
It's Bobber Bagel for a second time.
Bobber Bagel again.
Go off, Bobber Bagel. We appreciate you so much.
Yo, if you want to be as cool as Bobber Bagel and support this podcast with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes, the link is in the show notes or the description. Bobber Bagel, man, coming in clutch for a second time around.
Yeah.
2 championships.
We have 2 supporters, and they're both Bobber Bagel. The one is Bobber.
Can you imagine?
That's
2
goat
supporters
status.
and they're both Bobber Bagel.
Goat status.
Bobber Bagel is like a single mom.
Yeah. Well,
Oh wow,
Like putting in the work for
dude, that
2 parents.
2
the
people.
bagel
That's
company is probably
amazing.
flourishing right now.
Bobber Bagel from Bagel Works. Actually, I'm
Came
not even
through
going to
with the
say
cream cheese.
Bobber Bagel's Bagel Shop. I'm not even going to
Bobber's
give Bagel
Bagels.
Works that type of credibility
Bobber's
because
Bagels.
Bobber's Bagels.
Bobber's Bagels.
But like, to be honest, it does feel really nice. Like, as you know, small creators we are, like, just that support. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that you guys listening don't support us, because
yes,
we value
by
it.
listening, you are supporting us.
Yes.
But by supporting, you get shout outs like this on the
Yeah.
podcast. Just kidding.
Bobber Bagel,
Next level.
Bobber Bagel loves us a little bit more than you guys do. So,
twice as much.
but speaking of money, and when it comes to podcasting and stuff, Joe Rogan, the #1 podcaster in the game, has signed an exclusive $100 million deal with Spotify.
I thought you were going to say
What?
Joe Rogan has started supporting Strange Flavors.
Oh,
And
wow. That
when he
would've-
gets that check, he will support Strange Flavors.
What does that
Oh.
mean? Like when you sign an exclusive deal with Spotify, so he's
Only
he's
posting
moving-
on Spotify now?
So this man puts all his podcasts everywhere except for Spotify. He
he didn't do that before.
he didn't do that before. Now he got this deal, and he's going to be only on Spotify
What?
after a year. Like,
for free.
what do you mean?
Like it's still going to be free for everybody to listen to. Right?
Yeah, as long as
No,
you
you
have
have to have
Spotify.
Spotify.
As long as you have
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah, who has Spotify though?
Everyone, Amber.
I-
You live under a rock.
No, but I think you can still listen if you're not a Spotify like.
No, I don't think so.
You can. You will get ads. I don't know if you can listen to podcasts, but you can listen to music and stuff. You just get ads in between. So
Yeah. That's that's really
Interesting.
fire. I heard that he's doing like a video deal as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to affect his YouTube, but that's like next
on
level.
YouTube, he has over 2 billion views and like over a couple million subscribers. So, I think Spotify. What this means to me, what this speaks to me, is like I feel like Spotify wants to give more to creators, give more, and like have higher, CPMs, which is like every 1,000 views they get more money per 1,000 views or whatever.
The creators get more money.
The creators, and I'm sure Spotify
Yo.
gets a lot of.
Real quick, I want to say Joe Budden was actually one of the first people who, at like a really high level that was working with Spotify. So I think people are going to give.
Or
I believe it was.
probably not,
I'm not
right?
gonna say-
Because you saw it.
What?
Like you saw his podcast, right? Like
I saw it on YouTube.
yeah. So,
But
no,
I
it's-
remember him shouting out like he was one of the first like big podcasts to be on Spotify in that way, helping out Spotify.
Yeah.
So
$100 million?
also Spotify stonks went crazy
Yeah.
just because of Joe
The
Rogan.
value went up by $1
Stocks.
billion.
Okay.
The value went
Yeah.
up by $1 billion.
That's
Just
crazy.
that.
You know, Joe Rogan was also like one of the, I'm going to say like one of the first sort of pioneers of podcasts, like coming back, like at the same time as Serial and a few other things. NPR was kind of having their shows, but Joe Rogan was on the top for a while. And now I think he's making another sort of pioneer move towards what you're describing as like that creative, like creator curated
Yeah.
type of experience where he's going to also implement the video ads and all of that and make so much more money.
Yeah.
I
I think
he's already
the
making.
cool thing is like all these platforms and apps, they are trying to monetize creation. Like with TikTok, right? You don't really get paid, but if you go live, people can send you gifts and ultimately gets you paid or whatever.
Like it's on you.
It's on you. Like, and then
Well, it's always on you, I guess. But
what do you mean?
like it's ultimately always up to you how many like people you bring into your brand.
Yeah, but I'm saying like these apps are trying to like promote like getting your creation monetized. Like YouTube has always had ads, whatever.
Got it.
But like Twitter, you can't really monetize. Facebook, they've been trying it, but all these platforms are emphasizing that.
And YouTube has been so difficult for so long for so many people that there's so many hurdles and stuff to go over, and they're really, really nice to people that are more YouTube friendly and fit their algorithms and stuff and upload all the time, and not as much towards like people that just are wanting to create and you know, have more
like,
flexibility.
For example, David Dobrik, like you would think that they would want to like promote him or like favor him, because there are people who are like consistent David like there's some people who only go on YouTube for David Dobrik. And they really don't monetize any of his videos and barely give him anything for his videos compared to people who are more, I guess, family friendly.
Yeah. I saw, well, I mean, everybody's been seeing all this news about 6ix9ine recently. I wanted to get your guys' take on what you make of all of it when it comes to him hitting 2 mil on IG Live, breaking that record. You know, him coming out and having these problems with Billboard where he's saying that he should have the #1, but people are paying for their records to be at the top and he deserves it. But they just don't like him because, you know, he doesn't have a good standing with the community and everything. And then he tried to also recently donate $200,000 to charity, and he got rejected for that because they didn't want to be affiliated with him. Do you think he deserves all of this? What do you guys make of his situation?
Do you want to go first, Shami?
I personally don't think he like deserves as much as hate as he's getting, because all these views, whatever, is a reflection on us. I heard this somewhere. Don't take this on me. I heard that like 6ix9ine is a product of us. Like he's getting all these views because we're watching it and we're feeding into this. And so like he is the product, what we want to see, the entertainment we want to see, all that stuff. So him hitting all these numbers, whatever, like that is a product of us. However, the Billboard stuff, that's where I disagree with him, because he's like, oh, Ariana Grande bought 60,000 units overnight, right? And she's cheating the system to be #1 so that his single can't be #1.
I think it's a record company thing, but yeah.
Yeah. And like that, I don't see an issue with it, because, I mean, I do see an issue with it. However, it's always been an issue like the whole time in the music game, right? Like, however you're getting those numbers, right? Whether you're paying for advertisements, right?
Selling the packages with it.
People sell merch and has digital deluxe albums like with the merch, and that counts. Which counts as sales. And that's kind of like a trick to get more album sales, stuff like that. There's always been stuff like that, whether it's 60,000 overnight, whatever. 6ix9ine has just been using clout and stuff, right? Which is like another way of saying, oh, he got all those listens, not based on just music. So what he's doing may not be monetary. He's still using a way to get his streams up. Yeah.
I think what he was saying was that whoever did like those 60,000 units came from like 6 cards, apparently 6 credit cards. I don't really know like the actual factuals of it, because this is just what he said, and that's really all I know about it. I don't know anything past that.
He's also said many other things that ended up not being true or gotten him in a lot of trouble. So
I mean, Billboard stuff aside, when I think about the 2 million on IG and like how he has all this clout, like I think it's like similar to what Shami said. Like, it is our fault. Like, I'm not gonna lie, 6ix9ine is an entertaining dude.
Do you feel guilty for liking him?
No.
Why?
Because I know what I'm getting. Like, I know what I go in watching. Like, I know I'm not going in to watch like a like super like PC type dude or whatever, but I go in looking for entertainment and I get entertained. I don't get let down, and I enjoy the music. And it's like,
so you don't feel guilty like supporting somebody who other artists like Snoop Dogg and lots of other people, you know?
The thing is, if this is the only reason why I don't feel guilty. If he was holding himself to a high standard, being like, I'm better than you because of this or because of that. Yeah. He says, I'm better than you, and I'm better than you because I'm a rat and I still came out and I still had these numbers or whatever. Because of his trolling factor being like, you know, I like he claims he's the best, but he does it because like, oh, I have this watch, not like, oh, I have the best music. And I feel like his trolling factor, he doesn't want anybody to take him seriously. Nobody takes him seriously, and anybody
sometimes he does when he's crying on like interviews, and it's like, why doesn't anybody
I guess that's true, but like in the general public sense, if you were in my
shoes.
I think in the general public sense that like when he's like putting out music and like trying to like just do like random clout type thing, he's not trying to be taken too seriously. And the other artists who do take him seriously end up being like, oh, well, like now I look stupid for interacting with him and like for even trying to talk down on him when, you know, whatever, because his music numbers are higher. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my own fault that like I don't feel guilty, but like I just really don't. I enjoy the music.
I always support the art, right? Like I've always said this when it comes to things that I enjoy. It's not a like I can't separate that every single time unless the art directly has to do with the artist. But in his case, it's like this dude, he has a great voice. Like I haven't heard a voice like this since DMX, and I'm a huge DMX fan. And I think that his music is loud. It's like crazy. It's fun. Although his subject matter might like I didn't care for his recent song. I thought it was like whatever. But his other stuff, like it is entertaining, like you're saying. Now on the part of the donation thing, right, where it becomes problematic for me is when he's asking everybody to like, you know, be cool with him and doesn't understand why people are treating him this way. It's like you have to ultimately face the consequences for your actions. True. Period. For like sure. You have to, and that's what he's. When you try to play that card, that's not what I'm with. It's like, yeah, like I like your music, but don't try to pretend like, you know, you're just going to get a pass with all this and you're not. And if he gets treated a certain way and he gets handled, he gets beat up in the streets, he has to move houses, whatever. I think I
think he set himself up for that.
I'm not going to say he deserves it or whatever, but I totally understand why it would happen.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
He was
and like, so for the
charity thing, he was like, look, I'm trying to help people and like they're rejecting me. It's like, dude.
So that's to me is a like a PR move. And actually, I was watching Anthony Fantano from the Needle Drop comment on this, and he said something really good, which was he said that the donation should be allowed anonymously. So there should be some sort of contract that says that yes, if he really wants to donate to the kids, if he really wants to help. Yeah, you can donate as much as you want, but you're not allowed to say that you did it, because that wouldn't make the charity look bad, and also it would ultimately be helping people. And and then, you know, if he wants to get that off his conscience, whatever, because a lot of people do this kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this video of Mike Pence recently, but he was delivering some COVID-19 aid, and he was on camera. He didn't know that he was mic'd up, and he was delivering boxes, right? So he's carrying boxes over, the camera's getting it, and he's, you know, looking like a hero, whatever. Then he goes back to the truck to get some more boxes, and one of the guys that's helping out says, hey, this box is empty actually. He's like, do you mind if we just take them over anyways for the cameras? He literally said that. So I mean, that's not surprising from you know, that from politicians at all, but just to say that there's people that do things like that. So, you know, it is what it is. You can't stop people from going towards things that are you know, at a very controversial level, and from watching these things and listening to them. That's what kids do. Like, kids think it's hilarious, and they don't understand respect on that level. And especially old school rappers like Snoop Dogg, they do not, you know, vibe with that at all. And you have to be understanding of all of that. So it's a weird situation.
Like when Trump was like running for president, people are like, okay, like if you want to do this entertainment stuff, like keep it out of politics. Sure, it's entertaining. What you're doing is entertaining, but like in the political sense, it's actually harming people. Like, if you're following me here, 6ix9ine is doing that. He's like being very entertaining. He's being very toxic. He's kind of putting stuff out there, but it's not affecting people on like a real level. But then when it does come to real stuff, like when he did go to jail, I didn't feel bad for him because he was trying to put a hit on somebody. Like, you did set yourself up for those things behind the scene, and that's something that you have to deal with on your own. So I'm not going to be like, oh, free 6ix9ine, but I am going to enjoy the music while it's out because I genuinely enjoy the music.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Let's get into the guest today. So, the stranger today is a Twitter icon and ex-Twitter felon.
Whoa.
Okay.
What?
We talk about his not so politically correct views, his bizarre experiences in Saudi Arabia, standing up for the Shia community, and a lot more. So, without further ado, this is our awesome friend Salman, aka the Chai Papi.
I might burp a lot. I'm telling you guys right now. Like, I burp too much after iftar. I can eat cucumbers and I'll burp. It's out of question. I'm just gonna burp a lot. I'll try to keep it calm, but
What kind of cucumbers you be having?
homegrown, I think they're
Oiled up cucumbers.
What do you
They're
usually
dipped in ghee. Me today, honestly, today I didn't have much. I was lazy, but I normally have what I had pakode, like whatever mama makes. We had normally have homemade shawarmas or homemade shawarmas or rolls or whatever. Spring rolls. There's honeydew at the classic.
Homemade rolls
All
or
right.
shawarma? Those are two different. Okay.
No, homemade spring rolls.
See, he's gonna say that he's
homemade.
burping, but he's also eating pakore, spring rolls.
Pakore don't make
lot
you
of-
gassy, bro.
Dude, it's the cucumbers.
It's a
It's the
cucumber.
cucumbers.
It's a cucumbers, man. I don't know what it is.
He was telling me yesterday too. He naps after.
That was once. That
oh,
was
wait.
once.
Oh, that was
once.
just yesterday.
Yeah.
You
That
nap
was it.
after what?
Iftar. That was the first time.
That's
Dang.
sleeping.
Yeah.
That's like
No. It took like a 30-40 minute nap.
No,
whatever it
because he
was.
stays up till 7 or whatever.
7,
after that.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't sleep around here,
So-
man.
I don't know
Sleep
how
is
y'all
for
be
the
doing
weak.
that.
It is what it is. It is what
is.
it is. That's gonna be a joke. Chai Papi is in the building, people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The OG Chai Papi. Are you the OG Chai Papi?
Yes, I believe so. Wait, no, there's
You were
one
the
guy on
first
Instagram.
ever.
No. There's one guy on Instagram. His handle is Jai Papi, but I don't think he meant it to be what it is now.
What do you mean?
so he's
like-
the OG.
He's the OG when it comes to Instagram, right? But when it comes to other people knowing what Jai Papi is,
What is Chai Papi? What do you, like?
as a
you're meaning
brand,
Drake.
as a person, that's me. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the OG guy is not it.
I don't know. He has a handle. He has a handle on Instagram. I think he had it before.
Yeah.
I even had the term Jai Papi set in my head. But on social media, on the forefront, I'm Jai Papi.
In his head? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
How do you like
in
your
my
chai?
head.
How do you like your chai?
Okay, this is where it gets weird. I don't drink chai in America. I only
Okay,
drink
so,
it when
like,
I'm
you're
overseas.
not-
the fake
wait,
chai
whoa,
Papi.
Wait. I only drink chai when I'm overseas. If I'm in Pakistan.
He's already starting out
So-
controversial.
In a small portion of your life, you're drinking chai.
In the most memorable moments, I am. The ones that matter to me the most.
Okay.
If I'm at my daughter's house, I'll drink chai. When I was in Iran, I was drinking chai every day. When I was in Turkey,
That's these
Chai.
are different chais here.
Yeah.
chai is chai, bro.
No.
Come on.
Definitely
Yeah, chai
not.
is not chai.
They call
There's
chai.
You were drinking chai.
Chai.
Chai. There's chai, there's chai, there's tea. I don't know. There's a lot of things, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't drink chai.
You were-
I don't know. I'm not. I like.
You were the
doodh- I like
first chai
doodh patti.
Papi. Yeah, Doondhte patti. That's what most desi people, I guess, drink. But you were the first Chai Papi that I saw. And I
Yes.
think a lot of people had come across on Twitter. That's where I first saw your tweets and stuff.
Wait, I'm sorry.
And you
Before
were-
we get into that, can I know what the dynamic here is? Because this is the first time I'm talking to Jai Papi.
Yes,
how
sir.
do you guys you guys already know each other?
You never
You guys are
wait. You
friends?
don't know.
Oh,
you don't know our guest.
Wait.
I don't know
Do we
him. I
need
need
a
that
story
history.
time? Do we need a story time?
We need a
I've
story
done a
time.
very
Alright,
brief
story
one,
time,
and I
story
want to know
time.
what the situation here is
Alright,
before we
brief.
get into it.
Do you guys mind if I tell story time?
Oh, we'd love to.
No.
We'd
All
love
right,
it.
Okay, he's in mine. What year was it? 2016. It must have been
Somewhere around
2016 or 2017. That's when designer was going crazy, right? And
Panda.
yeah, exactly, right. And these guys dropped the Panda remix, Bandu, and that was
Right.
popping on Twitter. It was like, you know, like I saw it on Twitter when it had like 2,000 retweets, whatever it was. I'm like, damn, these guys got content. This is fire. And I retweeted shit out of it. And I think I followed you guys, like the whole gang, or at least two of you guys, and you both. And I'm like, man, this is dope stuff. And then, yeah, that's about it. That's all I remember. It was a little more after that, 'cause, like, but that was the initial following happened there.
You know, when he said, "Yo, story time," I was like, "Wait, nothing even crazy happened."
Exactly. I had
what
to
are you
hype it
about
up.
to
I
say?
had to hype it up.
You made it really feel like there was like a strong history there.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's about to happen?"
Yo, a follow goes a long way. I'm telling you that right now. A follow
It does.
goes
Okay,
a
so
long
where
way.
did it go?
Right here.
Well, then it was like, yeah, no. Actually, what ended up happening was before Bindu came out, you were like putting out some funny tweets and stuff. I had followed you, and I forget you had replied to me or something. I forget what it was about. That's how you eventually ran into Bindu. But when that happened, then we were like, we had exchanged, you know, conversation here and there, and then we ended up going on Facebook
video call.
Facebook video call, and like we were pretty much rebranding because we had the Rono Pono channel for a while, but then, you know, I met SHAH-AMEER and Amber, and we were like in this like whole thing, and we were like, let's reach out to people because we're from, you know,
cool people, creative people
who seem like they're in like the next gen of like content creation.
Sure.
And so yeah, we like talked on Facebook, just kind of exchanged some ideas. We got to know about him a little bit, and all that.
But like it was kind of random because like I would see your tweets and like it seemed like you were very in the Twitter sphere. Like
I was too
you were
much.
Twitter. You were
too
Twitter
much.
famous.
Like you were Twitter famous. Like
I
our
was
eyes were
Twitter
like,
famous because, like, I don't know, Twitter famous is a weird term nowadays. But like,
yeah,
No,
my
but for
tweets got
then,
around. People knew me. That's about it.
yeah. People like everyone in the brown Twitter universe.
Yeah,
So,
like
like-
East Coast.
You guys were trying to get to know him as like you know, other brown content creators. Like, what did you do?
What I
What
do
do
at the
you
time?
mean?
I just
Oh.
dropped tweets.
Yeah.
I just dropped tweets, made some
Okay,
stupid
true.
videos, like little
So you were
Snapchat
popping on
videos.
Twitter, and then that's why you guys like hopped
Well,
into
I
DM.
saw. I originally followed you because of a funny video you had posted.
yeah.
I'm forgetting what it was.
Oh,
but
you know
it
what
was,
it is?
Probably like a snap video.
It was,
What was it?
probably I'm thinking
I feel like he's gonna
if it was
drop it.
summer, if it was summer of 2016,
He's
it
like,
had
"What I
been
dropped, that blew up."
Pakistan versus India like content when it comes to cricket. It must have been something like that because I was shitting on India people, like Indians, like for like shits and giggles, like shits and
Alright.
giggles, like cricket for cricket reasons. I was shitting on them, making a lot of stupid videos, but like it must have been something like that.
Yeah, but like,
Okay.
I think the main point was like we didn't know what he does. Like I still don't know what he does.
I
right?
don't do shit.
No, you do a lot. You do a lot. I think the point of this is like you're a super like creative dude, and like you're in all these different realms. But it's cool seeing how you're like doing those realms, I guess. And that's why I think we wanted to pick your brain back then. And
well, you had then, and I don't know if still now you had been working for like to make this brand Ajeeb apparel.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
like kind of a brand that continues on. You're doing this podcast and stuff. That's the Ajeeb Kibat.
Ajeeb si baat, yeah.
Ajeeb Sibat, sorry.
Oh, that's cute.
Ajeeb meaning weird.
Yeah.
If for those people that don't know, but yeah, is that kind of like your baby? You're like your project that you've
That's
been
my
kind of wanting
little
to-
my little infant that grows sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't grow, but it's just chilling there. It's my plant. Let's call it a plant.
playing.
Yeah.
It's my baby plant.
It's my infant
yeah,
that
man,
doesn't
like-
grow, that does
Yeah.
grow.
It's like the plant on your head right now.
My pineapple. My pineapple.
If
It's my
you're on
pineapple.
YouTube, you'll
Yeah.
know.
It's my pineapple. Oh, those
Yeah.
plants. Oh, my bad. Yeah, those
No,
plants.
I was
okay.
no. I was talking about
Oh, my pineapple.
The
Oh,
pineapple,
okay.
yeah.
Cool. But yeah, man, I started the G back in like 2014. I did like whatever. It was like when I was first university. I was like, man, I'm tired of like, you know, I want to expand my hobbies because I was like, you know, when you're in university, you don't want to stick to that same things you're in. Like, I was a pre-med student back when I was like first university, and now I'm like,
Oh wow.
fuck being a doctor. Like, no way. Right? Can I swear?
You might as well. I
Okay.
just have to mark it explicit, but
Okay,
it's fine.
okay. Yeah, so
It's fine.
I was customizing Nikes, like Nike Rochers back when they were popping. I did a bunch of those, right? And then I got into like clothing, like as a noob. So I, had like beanies with like Ajeeb on it in like calligraphy or like Sharif and whatever. Then started
why Ajeeb? Why that word,
bro? It was just like, what's a cool word for like weird in Urdu, right? That's all I chose. And I'm like, Ajeeb has a lot of definitions. Like it could be like fascinating, whatever. Strange flavors. Could be Ajeeb flavors if you wanted to call it that, right?
Right.
But it has a lot of definitions to it. I'm like, man, like that's low key me. Like I don't fit into one category. I might as well make it Ajeeb.
So so a lot of your stuff revolves around like brown stuff, like brown culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so when you were doing the Twitter stuff, right?
Yeah.
You were coming at everybody, really, but
yeah.
And this is something that continues to happen. It's hilarious. But you got along the way at some point you got blocked by Shah Rukh Khan.
What?
Yes, I did.
How did that happen?
That's back in 2016, same time. I think. Okay, so this is what happened. I'm a huge Shah Rukh Khan fan. Like if you know me, like my friends that know me, I used to Photoshop pictures with Shah Rukh Khan. Like I used to like do some
like you and him.
Yeah, you know the picture of Shah Rukh Khan in the bridge in Colono. He's in the Brooklyn Bridge with hands like this.
Yeah.
So I took a pillow. I remember doing this like for sure. I took a pillow. I'm like, Papi, take a picture of me. She's like, why? I'm like, just do it. And I was doing this, and I photoshopped me being hugged by him, or me hugging him, wherever it was. And that was like way back. But huge Shah Rukh Khan fan, right? He's like,
and then he blocked you. He was like, "That's so."
No, not even that. That's that's not even that. So what happened was 2016. It was the T20 World Cup final, Pakistan versus India. Pakistan, the underdogs, came up top, right? And I think we were batting first, and like we had like a decent score or whatever. And then I don't know what channel I was watching it on, but Shah Rukh Khan in like the intermission and at the halftime was like, yo, bro, like, watch my new movie. It's called Jab Harry Met Siegel, whatever, Siegel. I don't know what the hell her name is. Jab Harry Met Siegel. And I'm like, this movie's going to flop. And I'm like, India's going to lose too. It could be whatever it is. Yeah, my bad for mispronunciation. But I tweeted, I'm like, your movie's going to flop and India's going to lose. Like, boo-hoo, like, you suck. And that was the only tweet I made in that year. And like, come like 3 months later, like someone like, Shah Rukh Khan makes these dumb tweets that make no sense sometimes. Like his like the way he writes in his mind doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, man, let me check out
the way he speaks too. By the way, if you ever listen to his TED talk, it made no sense, but okay.
It was a funny TED talk. But someone tweeted something, and I'm like, let me click on his profile and see it because I couldn't see it. I'm like, for what reason? And it's like, you're blocked by Shah Rukh Khan. I'm like, bro, I started tearing up. I'm like, bro, this is my idol, man. Like, what would I do? And I checked back the last time I had to him, and it was when I was like talking shit about him and his movie. And his movie did flop, and India did lose. So I'm the real winner here.
That's a legendary thing, though, to have like on your resume. Like, you're blocked by one of the biggest actors ever.
And like somebody that you like look up to.
Dude, I look up to him like hardcore. Like Aman Mathur is like my dude.
You're gonna be like Syndrome from The Incredibles, the fanboy. Have you seen The Incredibles?
I have, but I don't like really care about
the fan.
that much.
Fan that like the enemy in The Incredibles. We used to be.
Oh, the guy with the
number
ginger
one
hair.
Fan. Yeah.
And you have the same hair right now.
Yeah.
I gotta redo my highlights for sure.
You're gonna show up in his movie in the future. And then you're going to take over. And then
you're going to be the one who takes his girl.
Yeah.
Take his wife, wife and kids.
Dude, but like with your you seem to be very much into Bollywood, and that's you had told me that's kind of what your podcast is going to be about as well.
Yeah.
So like in the times that we're living in right now, there's a lot of people, especially Pakistani people, especially Muslim people, that are turning away from Bollywood for political reasons and a lot of different other things. But what is your opinion about? I know you're obsessed with like Deepika, right? You love.
Hell yeah! I got posters over my room, bro.
Are you a Priyanka fan?
Okay, controversial time. Priyanka, whatever the fuck she
real quick,
does.
do you get what I'm going
for
towards?
Sure, for sure,
like, all these actresses and stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't include their political views or whatever they do into my liking when it comes to watching entertainment. If I'm watching a movie, it could be like, for instance, I'm not gonna like it's not promotional reasons, but The Sky is Pink is on Netflix, has Priyanka Chopra in it, right? This is like 2019 movie, 2020 movie, whatever it is. And it's a crazy good movie, right? And I'll watch it. Besides, like, disregarding the fact that people hate on Priyanka Chopra, I don't really care about her political views. That comes with a lot of people. Like, I'm a very non-political person. I'm not politically correct myself. Like, I say stupid shit all the time. Like, I'm not gonna like not watch something or not listen to some music just because someone's opinion is that. Like, that has no regarding to me, because at the end of the day, like, I'm watching a movie. Like, the movies, like, they're acting. That's their job. But yeah.
So you're liking for like Bollywood and all that type of stuff, and your like pride in being Pakistani is all like entertainment based.
Entertainment based. The thing is, history. Like, if you focus on history too much, you get like real crazy, right? So I don't really focus on like, you know, the division. It's cool to learn about stuff, like for instance, like the partition and stuff. Like, but you're right. Yeah, a lot of entertainment based stuff is what I focus on.
Yeah, I think, you know, what you're saying makes a lot of sense when it comes to artists in general, where, you know, we've had tons of debates about like this on the podcast, where it's a lot easier to not like somebody when you don't like their art. And but the controversy is when you like somebody's art, but they're an extremely, you know, I guess controversial person,
like Kanye.
And then,
like, that's like a never-ending debate. Oh, like, you know.
Well, yeah, like we talked about when like the whole R. Kelly thing happened and the Michael Jackson thing right after that, and how people were hypocritical in their statements towards like canceling somebody's music, but they weren't really listening to R. Kelly, and then Michael Jackson they can't live without, but they won't, you know, they'll excuse whatever. So I think with Priyanka, I think the case becomes that, like, for me, for example, like, I don't really, there's nothing that Priyanka could that would be taken out of my life that I would care about. Like, there's nothing that I think that she has made that is like really important to me, so it's easy for me not to like what she's making anyways. So yeah, no, that's a good, I think, fair way to look at it, especially as an artist. What's your like beef with Sunnis? I know you've had this for a while.
Wait, hold on.
Man, okay.
This
it's not
this
really
is
beef, bro.
From...
It's not really beef, but yeah, what are you saying? My bad.
Well, this is all on the Twitter thing, because like this is something that he used to do this a while on Twitter too, where like people weren't really saying this kind of stuff. You're from the Shia community. I know, like, I was just talking to this Mufti today on IG Live about something that happened recently, where like this girl, Shia girl in UK. Yeah.
She was 19
UK,
years
right?
old. She got shot up. Yeah. Then like, so people started doing fundraisers for her, for like her funeral and her family and stuff.
Yeah.
The second people found out she was Shia, they wanted to cancel the fundraisers and give the money back to people who donated, which is like, an innocent girl died and you care about her being Shia, and that's why you want to like cancel her death, which makes no sense, right? Yeah.
No, so I'm asking, like, in your honest experiences and stuff, like, what, you know, what kind of like discrimination and stuff have you faced to make you feel that way?
Bro, I think a lot of Shias can say this. It's not like hardcore discrimination. Like, you're not gonna like someone's not gonna walk up to me and call me a kafir, because my best friends are Sunni, right? Like, it's a lot of respect for each other, but it just comes down to the ignorance and like not knowing about us as much, right? Like, Sufis can say this, you know, Ismailis can say this, Ahmadis can say this. It's just being a minority Muslim, being a minority in general, for any, like, it could be your ethnicity, whether, you know, beliefs or religion, wherever it is. When it comes to being a minority, you're always going to stand up for yourself more than anybody else is, right? And you have to stand up for yourself, because if you're not, you're going to get stepped over. And once you're stepped over, like, there goes your entire, you know, standing. So my beef is, Twitter is already a toxic place when it comes to religion, right? Like, and like the second people preach stuff on Twitter, people see Islam in that highlight. So a lot of it is going to be Sunni beliefs, because the majority of Muslims are Sunni. Even in high school, like, I was the only Shia kid in my class, in my entire school, right? So I had to stand up for myself and like tell kids, there's like two sides, or there's multiple sides, and this is the other one, right? Because it's not only going to be about Sunnis all the time, it's going to be about Shias too. And when it comes down to Twitter beef, like, before, being a Sunni basher was like, you know, a cool thing to do, which is now, like, people literally today, man, like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, everyone's like making these Sunni tweets, like, you know, good thing I'm not a UK Muslim or a UK Sunni. Like, I'm not a whatever. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I was doing this 4 years ago. Where's the clout? Like, where's the clout? But
well, they were mad funny too. I would be laughing at those tweets.
I feel like Twitter is so toxic because I've never, like, in real life or on any other platform seen Sunnis priding themselves on being Sunnis. Like I didn't even know I was Sunni until later in life, but I feel like on Twitter, for some reason, it's such a toxic place, in my opinion.
No, you're right. You're completely right. Twitter is so toxic, and then when
like, I'm like, who boasts themselves on being like a sect of a religion?
I don't think it's boast. The thing is, she is boast.
In my experience, in my past relationship, I was with a Shia person.
Gang.
To be and to be honest, the whole time my constant struggle was, I'm never saying I'm Sunni. I never bring it up in conversation, but I will hear multiple times a week about you being Shia. Like, why are you always, like, why is this a thing that you constantly need
Amber
to bring
has
up?
it has
I have
perspective
it
from the
the
other
other
side.
way.
Yeah, it's because we're different and that we have different beliefs that we're always gonna be proudful of it. Like, literally, this is what it is. If I'm not proudful about being Shia, then I don't, like, I have no validation to being Shia. Like, we're different in some ways, not a lot of ways, but it all just goes back down to history and historical point of views, and like
But
some
don't
like
you think
beliefs.
that by being, like, no offense, but like when you say like, oh no, like I have to be proud about it, that's what creates the difference? Because I didn't feel a difference until it started being brought to me, oh no, you're Sunni and we're Shia and we're Shia and we're Shia and we do this and you're Sunni. And so that whole time period I was around a lot of Shias and I was constantly being told like there was a constant Shia pride around those people that I was with, and I respected them for it because I do know that even in my village in Pakistan, if you are Shia, you do have to be quiet about it because other people aren't going to be okay with it. Because if you're Shia, it's fine, just be quiet about it. Don't be doing things in the street. Keep it in your house. Don't be loud. And so I get that there is the oppression there, but it blew my mind then over here that when we are like in America and they do, at least in Maryland, have the freedom to practice in the ways that they would like to, in the differences that are between Sunnis and Shia. And
I did not think this was gonna turn into this.
No, bro, it's a big deal. Like, it's. I totally understand what you're getting. Like, I can imagine the same thing. If I was a Sunni person around Shia people, like, I know it's gonna get annoying. Like, it's the same, like, I don't know, like, if you're in a group full of Hyderabadis, you know, like guy from Pindi, like they're gonna like boast about being Hyderabadis the entire time, right? It's the same thing about like taking pride in who you are. We're grown up knowing we're Shia, like from day one. Like, you can tell by my name. Like, if I was gonna tell my name, like my last name is Hussein. Hussein's a very Shia name. My first name is Sayyid. If you see a Sayyid, he's 9 out of 10 times gonna be a Shia person, right? Like, our entire identity as a Muslim goes down to practicing as a Shia Muslim, right? And it's a little bit of frustration when people don't acknowledge your differences or even know about you. That pisses us off. Not pisses us off, but like it kind of like shifts the wheel,
the question
right?
that I have is that nobody knows, like from the outside, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody who's American or somebody who's like, you know, whatever, Hindu, anybody else who's not Muslim. Nobody knows that I'm Sunni either. Like, they just know I'm Muslim. So why are we not just identifying as Muslim?
This sounds like so many, like hearing you talk about this sounds like other people having the same conversation about black versus white with light skin, dark skin, Latinos being Mexican, Colombian, whatever. And, you know, I usually like will just hear those conversations, but it's interesting to know that like there are people that care about these things in our like you know, in our world too, whether it be with Muslims or like we hear it with Pakistanis all the time, right? Lahoris. Oh, I'm Punjabi. Well, I guess they're the only ones that really pride themselves.
Karachi like people and Lahoris. Punjabis, I feel like the Punjabis are their own little like thing. Like Indian Punjabis.
You're from
Pakistan
Karachi,
Punjab.
right?
Oh hell no! I'm from Rawalpindi, man. I'm from Rawalpindi.
Oh, you're from Rawalpindi. Okay, so you're Punjabi. I thought for some reason you were from Karachi.
I feel like if he was from Karachi, that would be like another part of his identity. He'd be boasting.
Yeah, people from Karachi, like they rise up. They rise up to the cause.
Because
Shamir doesn't rise up.
everyone craps on them.
Yeah.
No, I mean I've been there. Like
I literally did a poll a couple days ago because I always thought that Karachi was like, you know, if you went through a line of like 10 Pakistanis, at least 6 or 7 of them would say they're from Karachi because like the population there is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Karachi is the most lit. It's the most lit.
It's the most lit, but I've been told it's very, very like
it's dirty. It's very
dirty,
trashy,
violent. It doesn't get treated as well as like Rawalpindi and Islamabad. And I'm not like
I'm fully going to withdraw from this part of the conversation.
I'm not a huge like.
Because Kashmir doesn't even
whatever.
land over here. Yeah, we're really lit in our mountains.
But I will say,
making our fires from scratch.
I will say, like Lahore is a beautiful place and has so much history. Like
they get the funding, they get all the funding. It's a Hollywood of Pakistan. So
yeah.
On sort of the same topic, I want to talk about your experience in Saudi Arabia. So
fun.
So what did you go for?
I went for Ziyadat in December of 2018. And
what's that?
Basically, when it's like a mini pilgrimage for Shia Muslims. We visit like
Iraq.
We visit Iraq and Iran, and like people also go to Syria and like Jordan and stuff. A lot of shrines for people like the family of the Prophet. So there's a bunch in Iran and Iraq. So I did that first, did a little break in Turkey, and then went for Umrah in January of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember you talking about it on Instagram a little bit, where you were getting judged about your appearance and stuff.
Big time, yeah.
Was it like random people saying stuff, and what were they talking about?
Dude, it was rough. Like in Iraq, I got stared at all the time for having like my ponytail, right? And like it's just like I'm not gonna have my hair out because my hair was ugly at the time. Like if it's like when you're growing hair, there's an ugly phase.
You said it was
and there's a
ugly
good
at the time.
Yeah, like you have an ugly phase and a good phase when it comes to growing hair. And like I was just like getting my little tutu in, right? So I had to put a ponytail in. So that was in Iraq. I just got stared at. People looked at me like astaghfirullah, like all this stuff. I'm like, man, get out of here. So I wore my hat most of the time. And then when I was in Saudi, the weather was too nice. I'm talking like 70, 80 degrees. I just wanted to vibe.
Oh, nice.
Right? So that's where it got crazy, man. Like people look at me all the time. Like I would go in any masjid and I would just get stared at. And
just
like,
for your hair?
For my hair, bro. And they're like, I'm like, you haven't seen someone with long hair before?
I feel like most places you go out, like people are gonna stare at you, especially like countries like that.
Yeah, exactly, right. And not only that, I got stared at for being like literally praying my namaz because I'm a Shia. We pray a little differently. I got stared at for that. Then I got stared at for my long hair, and it was just a bad combo. So like the first time it was real bad. I was in Medina. That's where Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's shrine is, his like entire mosque. So there's only like certain times where you can go visit his tomb. And I went like at 11 p.m. at night because like it's empty or whatever. And like there's still gonna be a bunch of people there. So I went there waiting in line and like I'm just doing my thing, waiting because like I want to go up. Like I'm in Medina, I might as well do my thing. So I'm waiting in line and like this old like it's like moldy looking Saab comes up to me, like he's had a dustbin in his hand. He just walks up to me and he's like, "Oh, brother," and he like, grabs my hand, he pulls me to the side.
Random
right?
guy.
Yeah, some random like uncle dude, and he's like, "Oh, like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh." And I'm like, Pakistani. And then he's like, yeah, Arab. He's an Arab guy. They're all like majority of them are all locals, right? So he looks at me and like looks at my hair, like looks at my like hair and stuff, and he's like, astaghfirullah, like Besharam, or he said some like a lot of words. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Like
Besharam, bro.
He said some weird words, bro. And I'm like, no, thank you, like it's okay. And I go back in line, and then like that caused a little ruckus because all these other uncles are like beside us looked at me. He's like, astaghfirullah. And there's like one like gatekeeper guard there. Look, he points at me with the stick. He's like, get out.
What?
And I'm
to
like,
you?
I'm like,
or
to me, yeah, to me.
Damn.
So I'm like, I waited like 30 minutes to go see the tomb of like the prophet, and like you think that wouldn't
just
get like
your
judged?
hair.
Yeah, bro. And I was about to cry. I'm like, bro, I came all the way from like America to like do Umrah and like do my holy task.
You didn't have like anyone with you? You were just by yourself?
It was at nighttime I went by myself, but like in the daytime I went with my dad. But like even then,
Okay.
I went alone. I'm like, I walked out. It was like a walk of shame, bro. I walked out.
Everyone's staring at you?
Like when I got out of line, yeah, but like with the walk back to the hotel, like I just had my ponytail off, and I'm just like, damn, bro. Like
I'm sorry, I'm like laughing a lot. This is probably traumatizing for you, but
it was at a time, but I'm like, yo, like fuck them, like they're not my dad, they're not God, like who's it gonna stop me for? But that's what pissed me off. Like I came all the way here to like be a holy man, and you guys try to kill my flex. It was so disheartening, man. Like it was real bad. Like I was really good about crying. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. And then
I'm shaving my head before I ever go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you will get killed. You will get killed.
Like during Umrah where you like go
Do
around
tawaf,
the Kaaba and then you have to go between Safa and Marwa
Yeah.
7 times. I had a man follow me the entire time, and then back to my hotel, and then up to my floor level, and then it happened right after I finished. We went to the marketplace, and there was like a group of men that were rush following me who were like on phones from different hallways communicating with each other where I was. So I literally saw my dad like 2 hallways down, booked it, and started screaming from my dad, and then it happened 3 times while I was there. So like literally got chased down 3 times while trying to do Umrah.
You won't like literally like the holiest city in the world. Well, like for Muslims at least, you will find the craziest, most evil, corrupt people there. Like people there, like begging for donations and like doing scams. Like, yo, look, my grandmother's sick. I lost my passport. Can you give me some money? And I'm like,
yeah.
Imagine doing Safa Marwa. Do you know how long it takes to go between it 7 times? It takes at least over an hour.
Yeah. And
have somebody follow you every single step.
It was like,
insane.
It's nuts.
Yeah. That's what I've always wondered. Just like, I really want to go and have this like amazing, enlightening experience. And I'm sure for girls it's horrible, but I also fear like somebody ruining that for me. Because once I get distracted, bro, even like when I'm praying normally, if I get distracted or something's on my mind, I'm just like, all right, I need to like, get back in focus. If something like that was happening in front of me where I'm trying to be like, spiritual or whatever, it'd be so it would throw me off.
Dude, I was reading namaz and this guy was not reading. He was like, it was like Jamaat time. I'm reading namaz and like they do namaz a little bit like a little crazy over there. Like not crazy, but like extended. So I'm doing my thing. And this guy is not even praying. He's looking back and staring at me dead in the eye. Like with an evil grin. You know those like anime stares? Like, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. It was one of those. And I was terrified. Because like, it's Saudi, bro. Like, I can't like, the second they find out I'm Shia, I'm done. Like, who knows what they'll do.
Is that
is so bizarre.
And they're super strict there. Like, the Haram police or whatever they have there, they don't give a shit.
Oh yeah,
they will end
My
you
mom
if they need
was
to.
wearing an abaya, and it went behind her. Like the wrist bone that we have. It went right above the wrist bone, and a man approached my mom and said, and he looked away, and he's like, "Sister, pull your sleeve down." A random man came up to my mom to tell her to pull her sleeve down, and it didn't even go like even an inch past her wrist bone. But jeez. I mean, I think did you while you were there ever like cross your mind like, oh, maybe I should pray the other way, like I don't feel safe or anything like that? Like, did that ever cross your mind?
Literally did not want to do Jamaat prayer at all. Like I was like, but you get stuck there because once it's Jamaat time, everything's shut down. Like I'm trying to do tawaf and like you don't want to be that one odd guy standing there like, oh cool, let me take some pictures while I'm reading namaz. You look like a dumbass, and then like you'll get bullied into reading namaz. That's how it is there, right? And I didn't feel comfortable at all. I'm like, bro, like I'm just trying to do my own thing. But like it's like you were saying, you get distracted very easily because think about it, it's so loud and crowded that it's hard to get in your own state of mind. Like the only time I had a enlightening experience there was when I like completely zoned out. I was like, boom, I'm just gonna go there, like be underneath the Kaaba and like do my thing. And that was like a crazy experience for myself. But it's hard to do it. Like, yeah, you
have to go in with like a tough mind, especially during tawaf because there's so many people and they're like bumping into you. So like you have to like have a strong mind going in and like just be like and like accept the bumps like a bumper car almost, like accept it and go.
Yo, some people race, they go zoom zoom zoom. It's crazy, dude. It's nuts. Like I was trying to run past it. Yeah,
it's a good experience. I think that
for sure,
it's
for
good
sure.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Kind of experience that went with it.
Were you we know you're Pakistani. Are you from Pakistan or you always lived in North America?
I was born in London, England. Raised in Canada.
You took that route.
Yeah. So my dad went like Zio. They went like Zio. They did the
There's
Nike
always
check.
there's the UK route. There's the Canada route.
Yeah.
Stay in Canada route.
Until you get to
I done
Or
that.
just East Coast.
I did all of them. So London to Toronto, Toronto to Connecticut.
How long were you in London?
8 months. So
Oh,
no
so you
accent.
were just born
Yeah.
there.
So you
and
didn't
just
develop the
souped
accent.
out.
No, sadly now, bro. You know how life would be if I had an accent. You know how
Maybe
this
that's why
podcast
you
was.
that low key
This,
popping on Twitter because I feel like everybody from UK is
oh,
popping on Twitter for
they have a
some
grudge
reason.
on me. I used to lie to people and tell them, "Yo, like my nanny in UK was Zayn Malik's nanny," and people will believe me. I'm like, "You
Was
guys are
Zayn
stupid."
Malik's nanny?
Yeah, I was like, "You had the same nanny growing up." Like, I'm from UK, bro. People are stupid. Like, yeah. That's something
the
else.
same nanny.
Yeah.
Why would people have a reason not to believe you if you went through? Like, what made
Exactly.
you even think of something like that?
Bro,
So you go between like Canada and US, right?
yeah.
What's the main difference that you notice between like people and like communities between Toronto and, I mean, I don't know how much of an experience you've had with US people. Online you definitely have, but
Oh, I lived in Connecticut for like 15 years.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been in Connecticut for 15 years, from like 2000 to 2015. Even now, technically still I'm
Yeah.
a citizen. But I spent past 5 years in Toronto. The biggest difference is diversity, for sure. Like, Toronto is on a league of its own. You have people from all over the world, you know,
yeah.
wherever.
It might be like a Connecticut
Yeah.
thing.
I think
Connecticut
also,
is like, ugh. It's like literally like 99% white.
yeah.
And you only see brown people on Black Friday. That's
Yeah.
literally it.
When
Black.
we went to Toronto, we noticed that like the Desi people there were kind of like more similar to Pakistani, like from actually Pakistan people. Like when we went there, like aunties were staring at us, uncles were staring at us. Like that's
Yeah,
a
it's the
typical
same.
thing.
Bro, that mentality will never go away. Like I feel like when we're like 30 or 40 or 50, whatever it is,
Yeah.
we're gonna stare at each other just because it's like, yo,
Yeah.
might as well. Like, fuck
But I
it,
mean,
let me stare at you.
I feel like over here it's like slightly different. Like we're trying to like assimilate more to
No, but it's also like Edison and Jackson Heights. It's like
yeah.
what
But that's like a
what people
small
in
area.
right.
That's a small.
So I think in Toronto it's like there's so many of them
okay.
There's
that
so
they
many.
don't have to assimilate or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like I mean we did, but as kids it's like
Yeah, as kids, bro, assimilation is a weird thing because like the one thing I didn't like about America, like when I got way older, was like you're taught in like elementary school that like, you know, U.S. is a melting pot, like, you know, we're the mosaic. And I'm like, no, we're not, because like this place sucks when it comes to like being diverse, because there's no diversity. Your teachers don't know shit about your culture. They don't know shit about your history or whatever it is. You
I
go
think
in,
it
like,
definitely changes for where you are, but
yeah,
I see what you're saying.
From my perspective, in like East
But I
Haven,
think most
Connecticut,
places are
yeah.
like that, like what he's describing.
If you're in a small town, you're only the brown kid there. Like you're gonna get, you know, nothing out of here, right? Whereas in Toronto, kids are like Desi and like teachers know how to pronounce their name properly, which is like, oh shit, like I'll tell you this: when I first moved to Toronto in 2015, I was getting my internet set up, and like some like dorky white guy came in with like his like gloves and cables and whatever it was, and he saw me like wearing my Zulfikar, which is like a Shia necklace of a sword. And he literally he's like, "Yo, that's a cool Zulfikar there." I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, how do you know about this?" Right? He's like, "Yo, my buddies are Shia. They tell me about this all the time." I was mind blown. I'm like, "Bro, like, what in the world?" But yeah,
you guys do have some fire jewelry, I have to say that.
yeah. The geek is like, yeah.
we out here. But yeah,
So back to what Shamir had asked. What do you currently do? Life of Salu.
Life of Salu. Let's talk about this. I'm currently a student. I'm doing advertising in a bachelor's of design.
Makes sense.
That was after like years, it took like 7 years to find out my passion, right? So,
But you were kind of doing that, like, what? Wait,
I used to
like
do that
when
like,
I first started following you, it looked like you were already kind of passionate about design
Yeah.
and things like that.
I definitely have the passion. I didn't have the balls to follow my passion. Let's say that, right? Until like at post Umrah, I had like a quarter life crisis, and I'm like, you know what? I'm dropping out of like this university, going elsewhere. I'm gonna follow my dreams. None of that, right? So I'm in school right now, and I do things on the side. Like start my podcast, Ajeeb Baat. I just do shits and giggles and like, you know, make
how do
creative
you-
content.
How do you like describe yourself? Like if someone like asked you, I know this is like a super hard question.
Okay,
probably for you,
cool.
but
I have a couple words I describe myself as: multifaceted, Ajeeb, I call myself contagious because, like, I don't know, I feel like I talk too much and people are trying to grab on. Like, they get to on. I rub off on people, right?
Yeah. But like, what would your title be? Like, you know how like a creative or
definitely a creative. I'm not gonna call myself like a photographer. Like, I don't label myself as a profession just because like I'm not professional, right? Like I'm not. I do shit like the stuff I do is stupid. If someone else saw me, they would like critique the fuck out of me, right? I just do stuff that I think is cool. At the end of the day, like if it's nice, it's nice, right? But I don't like put my Instagram bio like, yo, I'm an artist, photographer, like entrepreneur, and all those like cool titles to make myself look cool. I just call myself creative. That's about it.
Yeah, I think something funny you said when we were on the phone yesterday. You were like, you're a deep hater. Like,
yeah,
you are naturally just, that's your instinct. So when it comes to seeing other people's, like you're just describing other people's sort of bios that they might have, what's something that really bothers you about other people's art, or like the community of people that are into different arts, whether they be photographers, you know, painters, digital illustrators, rappers, doesn't matter.
There's a lot. It's a long list. I hate corny content, right? I hate content.
What counts as corny?
Corny, shit. That's a good question.
I mean, it's subjective, right? But
corny is just like if. So let me break it down. So leave corny up top. There's if you're following a trend too late, that's stupid as hell. I think that's like if you're doing a trend way later, it's, I don't know. The trends have their own timelines. Like it's only good to a certain point. It gets saturated way later. Yeah, it's called a trend, right? People try to like suck off a trend till like they milk it till they can't milk it no longer, and like they think it's still like nice or whatever. That bothers me.
You say that brown people are yes men and they glorify really bad content for each other. What do you mean by that?
So yes, I don't know. We're in an age where like you have to be supportive to like get likes and like, you know, be up there and like, you know, be liked by everyone else. But being a yes man, you're allowing a lot of like unnecessary content to be shown as good. Like I see it as a bad thing. For other people it's cool. Like it's good for them. Like more content, the better, you know, do your own thing. But I don't know. I look stupid saying it because I know it sounds like a hater. It really is. But being a yes man just allows bad stuff to be made and like be seen as good. Like vector art, which is so easy to do. People do like tracing on Adobe Illustrator and like call like, yo, I'm like a digital artist. Look at my picture of like, you know, this like whatever. I'm like, that's super easy. Cool for you. Cool you did it. But like, don't glorify as like a crazy brown artist of like, you know, the brown diaspora renaissance or whatever the fuck it is. That's that. Like a lot of
we were talking about that on the last podcast. Like I'm with
like,
you. I understand what you mean. I just wanted to see.
Like, if I could show you content that I don't like it's a huge list. But then like, people who make really good content, like really good, they're very unique and they don't get the love they should get. That's that's how it's always been.
How you were talking earlier about like, you know, really being proud of being Shia. I think on a more you know, general scale, South Asians might be feeling that way about like, oh, we need to be proud of our people. Let's keep pushing our content forward. And I think in the process of what you're describing, like really bad content gets pushed out there too. And especially for people who, I guess, really value that kind of stuff and really will look at it in a critical way and be like, what are we really making here? It bothers them a lot. And somebody like yourself where, you know, you might not necessarily be going for that viral factor. You're not like trying to make, oh, I'm the next big South Asian artist, but you enjoy making it and you enjoy making stuff for other people. You're like I can do that. If that's what we're going to glorify, I can do that. But like, don't push really horrible.
There's also like a double-edged sword to that, because I feel like when there are creators making, I think, good stuff, like, you know, Rami, the TV show, like we've talked about this many times, like people will bash it because they'll say it's not good enough, but it's for different reasons, like, oh, they're not being represented the right way or something like that. Like,
for sure.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, like I think a lot of things that I don't like, or a lot of things I think are corny and stuff, it's recycled. Like, it's done before many times, and people continue to do it. Not even as a trend. If it's just like, if I see someone else hitting like a poetry book, they did a poetry book, damn, I'm gonna do a poetry book too. And all I see is like 30 more people doing poetry books. Oh, look at my very original poetry book, like my poems. Cool. What's next? The what's next part, when people do what's next, they don't get the love and hype for it because it's too new, right? When you're ahead of your time, you don't get that that affection from the brown community. That's how it's always been.
On that, like when Milk and Honey came out, after
amazing.
that,
like I never read it, but like boom, millions of copies sold.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that concept was dope, right? And I really enjoyed that book. Loved the concept. I used to actually write the same way. Like I have books where it's like the same way that she writes in like kind of simple form and then draws a picture underneath. I love that. So I've been a fan of that. So when I saw her do it, I was like, whoa, like this can be done. Like what I'm making is like, is at that same level what she's doing. But I'm not ready to release something yet because I don't have enough substance.
Yeah.
Right after I saw Milk and Honey, I saw mad people putting out Milk and Honey bootlegs. Like
big time.
I know people who really write. I know people who are really passionate about substance and that have things to say. But there was many people that were not saying anything. And they were repeating so many of the same ideas from our diaspora and almost rewriting Milk and Honey. And I was like, and it was being so praised. And I'm with you on that, where I'm just like, this sucks. Because we're just gonna promote anything.
Do you guys know Hate Copy? Do you guys know Hate Copy?
Yeah.
How many hate copies you see on Instagram?
Oh my god.
Every day.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, if you kill it, like that's the thing. Like people think like once you see something great, I don't know how. Like I understand how sometimes if you copy something, it's a good thing. Like I don't know, it's a quote by Jaden Smith. Like if you like something, copy it, but make it your own way. Like he talked about Drake and like Drake has great music. I'm gonna try some of his stuff and make it my own. Right?
Yeah.
People will try to aim for that, but they don't make it their own. They might add a little tweak there, here and there, but the resemblance from someone else that's already popping is like uncanny and like it kills it for me.
It's so much easier to get away with that now too, and that's something similar. We were talking to our last guest, Emin, who's like a really dope artist.
Yeah, I know about her. Yeah, for sure.
And she had mentioned like it's okay to try to copy and try to because that's how we learn, right? When we first start out, like I remember when I first started writing and really falling in love with hip hop, I was making, Eminem songs. Like I was not making, it was not my voice. And I was talking about subject matter that I have no relation to, whether it be like gangster rap or whatever. It's like, I don't relate to any of that. But for me to try it, I had to copy, right?
Yeah.
And like when I first met SHAH-AMEER, his stuff, he had told me right away he liked Logic a lot. And I heard so much of Logic in his voice. And throughout the years, just hearing him find his own voice, it's like a dope process. But like the difference is like if you start out right at the beginning, say you have some popularity, say you have a good amount of followers, and you post a song or something. Like, for example, Jake or Logan Paul, right? They had that following and they were putting out music and it's getting like, it's doing numbers, it's on billboards and it's getting all these downloads and stuff. And kids think that is music now, which like, okay, yeah, it is. But that like I don't know. It's like you haven't done put in the time, the effort that the original person who you're copying off of has done to be able to like sell it and claim it to be like your own and not like have somebody at least pull you to the side and be like, hey man, you got work to do. And it's almost like a disservice.
It really is, man. It is. It's just like if someone busts their ass making like, for instance, like a building and you see some like companies copy paste, you're going to feel like, wow, like I wasted all this time for someone to take my idea. And like, it's like seeing a tweet. You bust your ass on making a cool tweet and you see like that Indian stats guy steal your tweet. That's what that big issue was in 2016. Indian stats, big time. Yeah, I see tweets get sold all the time. Like nowadays, like I still my last tweet that got popping finally after like 8 years of being on Twitter. I stole a tweet and it got like 200,000 likes. Very easy, right? But I understand like that's how like some people just get lucky. If you have a following, you have the opportunity of a lifetime. Like if you have like 10,000 followers, even 5,000, you can make money if you use your mind, and people use your mind to like counterfeit things. Like
For sure.
Like I always want to say this, but like people, not everything belongs on a t-shirt. Like people take stupid artwork, slap it on a t-shirt, creative, entrepreneur. I'm doing like brown people, like, you know, magic. Look at my content. This is real nice. This is my fashion company now. This is my this is designer stuff. Like, no, it's not, dude. Like, not everything belongs on a t-shirt. Just make
say
content.
you want to make money. Just say
just say
this
it.
is
Like,
to make
say
money.
it is. It's not even nice. Like, that's one thing I had. Like, when I started doing Ajeeb apparel, I used to make things that like other people would wear, right? And then I'm like, wait, this is fucking ugly. I would not even wear it myself.
That's a good point.
Right? Like, we make things for the money sometimes, or like you try to aim for, like, you know, what the public might like, because like it's like it's good
in.
for, like, it's in, and like it has a social like aspect to it. Like, you know, you want to donate your money to, like, you know, Pakistani, so make this shirt that's cool for them, and like whatever. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna find out that it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's not genuine. Like, genuine creativity comes from like the heart. It's instantaneously. Like, you're gonna make your best idea in like the quickest, right? That's how I feel, right? And that's what we should be doing, stuff that we like, or as a creative, stuff that you like, not what other people will like, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you see a lot of, like, people still doing it. Like, I don't know, back when Islamic clothing was like popping, when it first started, like 5 pillars and like stuff like that. You put salam on a t-shirt, it was fire at first. Like, you know, people crazy, like, yo, Arabic writing on clothing, crazy, let's buy it. All these shitty companies, the shitty brands, like, I don't even know, so many dumb box logo ideas of like basic Urdu or Arabic words, like, you know, like that's what it comes to, man. Like, one good idea, like, people don't like making their own ideas, so they take the best one.
There's definitely like really talented people buried in that, and when they're trying their own thing, like, sometimes people will mistake it for their friend who just, you know, described kind of what you're doing, just opened up the teesprings.com, copied and pasted a translation from Google of like this thing in Arabic, and then is like selling it. So it's hard to know that. Let me ask you this. So you're going down the sort of branding, advertising route and all that. I've seen that you've worked with Horsepower before, and you've worked, I guess, I don't know who else you've worked with, but
that's about it, man. That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good.
That's a good
thing to have on your resume. But when it comes to like opportunities versus, you know, kind of setting a value for yourself, of this is how much I'm going to be, you know, this is how much I'm worth, and I'm not going to just like take the opportunity, whatever. Where's that line for you? I don't know if it's come yet, but
it has to come in. I don't like, for most of the work I've done, I don't charge for it. Like, if I'm passionate about something, I'm gonna make it. Like, I did like 3 covers for Horsepower. If you have listen to her music. I did 3 covers because like we're homies. She asked me like for an idea. You know, I got this, boom, and I worked on it, and that was that. Because like at the end of the day, I'm still like I'm nothing professional. I can't, like, if you value something in me, that's to you, but to me, I don't value it as much. Like, I'm still a noob. I'm a big time noob. A lot of us are.
You think that you're in your trial period?
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you saw how I make something happen, or like Photoshop, you're gonna laugh. Like, wow, this guy's fucking using this tool and that tool. But like, it's just the way you manipulate things. Yeah, it comes out good. That's all it is.
Yeah. There's a million ways to do things in Photoshop. I wouldn't even be mad at that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for the future, do you see yourself ever kind of having that line of like, or if you see it with other people, of like how much, it's so weird how much artists will charge, and how like how different it is, like, for doing the same work from one person to the next. Do you have any opinions about that, of like what artists are worth, and like if they're okay to set whatever price that they want?
At the end of the day, it comes down to, like, you know, the time it takes for them to make something and their demand. Like, I don't have a problem with it. haven't dealt with anybody charging too much. Like, I don't really charge much. Like, I mean, I don't know anybody that charges for anything. Like, I don't talk to people about their prices and stuff. But, like, all I know is Fiverr. Like, I get my shit done on Fiverr all the time. Fiverr is the plug.
Like, take Fiverr, for example. Fiverr's weird, right? You can get the same job done for $10
by a million people,
but also that same job for $300.
Yes. Those are cool videos to watch, though. On YouTube, or like I get, like, you know, this commercial made by whatever. Like, sometimes the cheapest stuff works. Like, for instance, so when I was making music for my podcast, I did 2 songs based on Kalohono. I talked to a bunch of people because I have no music production like skill or talent at all. I basically have the idea and like, you know, I want this happen, that sound, this and that. Hit up a bunch of people. The best ones come from like people who charge the least because they're most passionate about it. I feel like when you do like, you don't, what's the word? When you're not, I don't know the word for it. I forgot the word. When you're undervaluing yourself, I feel like your work is better. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you're humble about it. So you're going to try harder to make better quality work. Whereas if I've been charging 600, I'm like, yeah, fuck. He's charging me 600. I'm paying 600, or I'm paying him 600 because, like, he knows work is good. But to me, like, you know what? $600, I can do whatever I want because either way, like, my work will speak for itself.
Yeah.
But, like, it won't be worth $600 at the end of the day.
Yeah. I wanted to ask something, like, very off topic. But,
Go for it.
Or it's not super off topic, but, like, your tweets, I've seen like an evolution, right, of your tweets. And recently I've seen like tweets about like relationships and like love and stuff like that. And that's very cool to me because I never really see like a Desi guy being so open about how they're feeling, especially on Twitter, like that open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where does that come from? Why do you do that? Like,
are you afraid of your community?
Yeah, are you afraid
no, not at all, man. Like, one thing I learned the past couple years, like past like 5-6 years, it's the more open, honest, straightforward you are, no matter what aspect it is, it's gonna benefit you the most. And me, I'm like a very sentimental person. Like, people don't see this. Like, you won't see it from my tweets all the time. I'm a senti salu, literally. Like, that's what I call myself sometimes. Senti salu. It happens. You gotta give a huge shout out to Bollywood. I watch so many rom-coms on Bollywood, like Bollywood movies, that like it affects me. Like, I have so many, like, when I had a bad little hungama with a girl, right? Like, I had to not listen to Bollywood music for like a whole year because it would just like fuck with me. But yeah, man, like, evolution wise, I definitely see it too. Before I was like, you know, very reserved and like I only tweeted things that people would like. Now it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll tweet reckless things. Like, my cousin sent me last time, I'm gonna get canceled one day. I say some stupid shit. It's gonna be politically incorrect, but like that's just me. Like, I'm gonna get canceled for saying something stupid.
People that get canceled are ultimately free.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
true.
Think about it like that.
When I was banned from Twitter for 2 years. That's nothing. I got banned for 2 years for like.
Wait, what do you mean you got banned?
So on my birthday, right? On my birthday.
Oh no!
Literally, I got banned for like posting like leaks for Drake music because, like, you know, fuck it, whatever. Like, it happens. But no, it got worse.
Yo, I actually used. I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble, but I actually clicked that link. I'm not gonna say I downloaded
bro,
it. But
I'm telling you, dude. If I saw the views, it was like 1,000 clicks, 1,000 clicks plus, right? Like, I was helping the community out, right? That was when I think he dropped it wasn't views.
No,
it was Money in the Grave. I think like that. Something
no,
like that.
it was the 4. What's it? No, not 4.
More Life?
The one with More Life. I think it was More Life.
It was More Life. Yeah, it was More Life. I got suspended for that because that was like my 3rd warning or some bullshit like that. But then
you were also recording concerts.
My own the ones I went to, right? The main violations were posting concert videos that I took.
I didn't know you couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah,
bro, it was literally Travis Scott. I don't know what the fuck he's on. Whatever.
They were such good quality that they were like, no, we need...
dude.
Like, if it had been grainy, you were shaking it around.
But
they were good
majority
quality.
of the time. But yeah, so 2 years I wasn't on Twitter. Life changing, bro. Like, you don't think as much, you don't talk as much.
Wait, so Twitter literally banned you for 2 years?
Yeah, I got it back this year. I don't know how. Like, they're like, we're sorry. Like, but I tried a lot. I was really like giving like my counter copyright, whatever it was. Like, I'm like, yeah, bro, like, free me, man. I've been on this for a long time. But I made like a bootleg Twitter account like last year.
Free Chai Papi.
But it's so weird when you don't have a huge following on Twitter, because then like it just comes down to like, yo, like, I don't
You're
know.
not important anymore.
You're not important.
Nothing
Don't give a shit about what you think. Like,
I watched
OVO
Fest. I watched OVO Fest through your Twitter. I just remember that. Like,
that was a wild time.
When OVO Fest first like was a thing. It was so cool, and I was like, and you were the Toronto guy. I was like, yo, he's gonna be there. And then I like watching all of it. I was like, this is incredible, and the quality was awesome. So that's probably has to do with it.
Yeah, but when you're off Twitter for a long time, like, this is where I realized myself, like, you don't get in that mentality. Like when you're a full-time tweeter, like people don't think about it as a real thing, but like when you're a full-time tweeter, whether you're an artist or whatever, like for instance, a musician, his thoughts are gonna be like, like what's the next song I can do? Like this could be a good chord, that could be that, I could put this in my song. When you're a full-time tweeter, everything is a tweet. Everything is a tweet. I don't think that's not me anymore, but like I was that person. Like everything is a tweet. Yo, what's something funny I can tweet right now? Oh, that meme. I can draft it, post it later at that time. That's how people think. It's a fucking
Do you
sick
have a lot
way
of friends
thinking.
in real life?
Yeah, I have a lot of groups of friends. Like I don't like. I get into a lot of communities. That's one thing I like too. Like when you were off Twitter, like people don't know what the fuck I was doing, so I was hanging with my homies a lot.
Because some
I do
people
have a lot
we've
of friends,
met, that were like Twitter famous or whatever. Sometimes the situation ends up being that like they spend a lot of time alone, and then
losers,
because not even losers. It's just like they might not necessarily just like a lot of people don't have friends. It's like a normal thing.
Yeah, it's weird. This is a weird thing for me. I was very extroverted. Like if you saw me, like I'll talk all the time and like always hang out with people. The past, like I live alone too, so like I kind of needed to hang out with people. Now I don't give a shit. Like I don't see my friends for a whole month. I'm fine. I'm very introverted now. I don't know if it's a thing when you hit your 20s, like your mid-20s, you just don't care about hanging out with people. Excuse me.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
The cucumber burp.
First burp. The cucumber burp.
You did good.
I held. It would have been loud, bro. I can burp the ABCs in one burp, bro. I can do that. But yeah, I keep more introverted. But like, yeah, people. I do know people who are on Twitter 24/7 who have like no no social
you're more
life.
sentient now. It makes sense. It's the combination of all the anime and the Bollywood stuff. You got to be careful with that. It's
Anime and
your head,
Bollywood, bro. It's beautiful stuff.
Let's wrap this up because it says we have 3 minutes left. So first of all, where can people find you? And anything you want to leave the people with? Anything to look forward to? Talk about your podcast real quick.
You can find me on Twitter, Jai Papi, one word. Find me on Instagram, the Jai Papi. That's also one word, no hyphens or anything. I'm working on my podcast. I'm just lazy. It's called Ajeeb Baat. It's about me trying my best to portray to people of our age to fuck with Bollywood, to fuck with Lollywood, to fuck with new movies. Not just the classics. People love the classics, but the new movies are real, real nice. Especially with all the people passing away, like Irfan Khan passed away, like R.I.P. He's in a lot of good movies, like that people probably will never watch because they're in that mentality that new Bollywood sucks. They're remixing all our fun songs, like whatever. That's my main thing. You can find me on Spotify if you want to listen to my music that I worked on. That's also under Ajeeb Baat. Same for
I'm gonna put the music in this episode so you can hear some of it and then go download it.
Yeah. So you can find me on Apple Podcasts and all that other podcast places as Ajeeb Baat. Just keep in touch with my, I guess my Instagram. I post things out there all the time, and whatever I do want to do will be there. But yeah,
you heard it. Salu's got you covered if you need any of that stuff, and go follow his Twitter because it's hilarious. We ask one question to all of our guests at the end of every podcast.
I'm ready for it.
Ask that question. Oh, you
I'm ready for it. I love when the guests are ready. What ice cream flavor are you? I'm Ben and Jerry's 7-layer bar, bro.
What is that?
Coconut.
And why?
It's bro. People don't fuck with coconut and ice cream. I think it's amazing. It's like coconut's already minty as it is. I don't like mint and chocolate because it's kind of weird, but coconut has its own little like minty sensation to it. Mint, caramel, a bunch of nuts and swirls and whatever. Crazy, but they don't sell it no more, so I'm out of luck.
Why? No, but why is that you? You were so prepared, but you didn't explain why that's you.
I don't know. It tastes good.
Oh no!
Like I would say chocolate because I'm like that's a basic answer. Like I.
No, but what makes that you?
What makes that me? A lot of ingredients. Limited edition. You can't find it in stores. You were onto something
with the coconut. Like people don't usually
the
like
coconut?
it.
Oh, I'm a hard shell and sweet inside. I don't know. That's something stupid. I wouldn't want to say that.
I mean, it works.
But yeah, that's about it.
Hey, we appreciate your little coconut self.
You're senti on the inside.
No, but I'm hard senti. I'm like really senti in public. Like that's just
hard senti.
Yeah.
You know, the coconut is soft on the outside, but it's hard. You know how it's like furry? But it's hard.
Furry, yeah. Furry. Yeah,
and then it's nice and watery, juicy on the inside.
That's enough.
right, Salman, thank you for coming on the podcast, for being
My
you
pleasure,
as
man.
always. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. We love you. Come back anytime. And
It's
we
been
wish
4
you the best
years
of
in the
luck.
making. 4 years in the making.
years.
That's what
We're
it
gonna
is.
keep it going. This is
Hell
a
yeah.
valuable
Hell yeah.
relationship.
Yeah,
Hell
thank you
yeah.
so much
Alright.
for joining us.
It was my
today.
pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Strange Flavors. It's been another week.
Another flavor.
A little, that's stranger.
We'll talk to you next time.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you very, very much.